Hi everyone! We were invited by the UN to attend the United Nations Mine Action Symposium to help further spread awareness on the importance of a global ban on landmines.
While it may not seem like a big deal in the US, globally it is an issue all over the world.
So we're going to be learning a lot today, we're going to be talking to some very influential people, and we wanted to bring you guys along. Okay, so we made it to the United Nations. We're here. We're in like the lobby area, but we also just got to tour. And something that I've already learned is that we're not in the United States apparently anymore, because this place isn't owned by anybody because it's a bunch of countries. Did you not know that? How did you not get that information?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, like apparently we're not in the United States anymore. Like it's not.
That's cool, actually.
So I'm not sure where we are. I'll get that information for you.
But we're not in the United States.
We're not in the United States.
We're not in New York.
So there's like a border and everything.
Yeah.
We've
also seen some really cool like statues.
Yeah, I'll put some pictures. I took some pictures.
Portraits of people.
We saw like the conference room. I'm not sure if it's the conference room that we're going in or
whatever.
What that is, but I'll put some pictures and get some more information. But yeah, we're about to
keep walking around,
learn some more, I guess. Alright, so we're currently in, like, what would you call this, a conference room? Yeah. Currently in the conference room, I'm gonna call it that. I don't know, I feel stupid right now, I'm gonna be honest. I feel out of place, and I'm excited to sit down.
It's cool though, because we get like, it's like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's them talking about it. So they've got some pretty cool people coming up to talk here in a few minutes, so I'm excited. But I definitely feel a little bit of imposter syndrome because I don't feel like I should be sitting here. But I hope to educate you guys. But look at our surroundings. Alright, so we just did the interview. We just wanted to sit here and talk about some of the stuff that we've learned and some of the stuff that we talked about on the interview and just all of that, because we feel like we haven't given you guys the information that we have now. Okay, before getting into that, for those of you who don't know, the definition of a landmine is an explosive device concealed under or camouflaged on the ground, and they're designed to destroy or disable enemy targets ranging from combatants to vehicles and tanks as they pass over or near it. 78 countries are contaminated with landmines, and 15,000 to 20,000 people are killed every year, while many more are injured. We go on to give you more information, but I just wanted to make sure everyone watching, even younger people, know what we're talking about and why they are so dangerous. One of the facts that really struck me, and I think I actually got it on video, is that 1 in every 236 people, I think, in Cambodia are amputees.
For every person that reached some kind of medical care or hospital having stepped on a mine, 1 person would have died in the field. They documented that 1 in every 236 Cambodians was a landmine amputee. They also estimated that the average transport for a victim to a hospital or to any health facility in Cambodia was 12 hours.
And also, 70% of the casualties in the Vietnam War were from landmines.
That is crazy. That is crazy. 70%. The thing about landmines is that they're non-discriminate. I mean, they kill women, children, men, black, white. Like it doesn't matter. They're not killing people just who are in war. They're killing innocent people, children who are on their way to school, or like women who are on their way to the market. They're everywhere.
For anyone.
The sad thing is, as much as we're trying to do good here and like politicians are trying to do good here, is the US, India, China, hold on, pause. The US, India, China, Russia, all of those countries have not signed the treaty. And everybody else has, and the US and all of those countries that I named are considered superpower countries. Landmines are an extremely, extremely important cause, and I think what we're trying to do with this video is just spread awareness, and we want to teach you, because I mean, we didn't even know what landmines were. We didn't really have a lot of information on the UN even, and if we don't know it, odds are you don't know it. So thank you for clicking on this video. It means that you at least want to learn about it, and that's the first step. But anyway, with that being said, we just want to spread awareness, and we also wanted to take you along to all of the exhibits over there because they have some pretty great facts, and maybe will help you understand a little bit more. So I wanted to show you guys this. I feel it's very informative. I'm just doing a little pan right now, but I'll either put a picture or put these down in the description box below. So if you guys want to check any of these out, I would definitely say to do so. This is an another thing that I found very interesting. These are all the different types of landmines. They can be so little, and kids can pick them up and play with them not knowing what they are. And it doesn't take a lot of pressure at all to detonate one of these, so they're so dangerous. So I got a little footage of this because I was trying to sneak it in, but this awesome guy came up to us and was wondering what we were doing, why we were so young, and why we were just filming everything around us, and offered to give us some information. It took him a second to warm up, but I convinced him to actually be on camera and do an interview with us. So yeah, I hope you enjoy that. He was awesome.
Charlie Decker.
Decker, is it going? Okay, so I was filming, I might have actually got it. We were filming, and this amazing man, Charlie Decker, was like, so what are you guys doing? What is this? And he's gonna just kind of not only teach you guys, but teach us just a few things that he knows, all of the information he has, because he's actually been on board, hands-on, instead of just showing you guys random facts, and just whatever he has, he's willing to give you guys, he's willing to give us some great information, and yeah, I'm changing sides because I have this.
Don't look at the camera, do you?
No, you don't have to. If you just want to tell us what you think.
Now, I'm from the Netherlands. I'm trained in explosive ordnance disposal. I'm part of a team in New York that advises headquarters how to deal with explosives in the future. We've got 12 peacekeeping missions. They deal with these explosives on a daily basis. And there are also a lot of casualties, not only among peacekeepers, but also civilians. So the UN is trying to raise awareness for civilians, especially kids.
Okay, as you can probably hear, the audio is pretty bad, so I'm trying to just put subtitles for you guys so you can understand what he's saying. He said a lot of informative things, but I'm going to skip to parts that you can actually hear a little bit better. And I think that that's my question and what we are here to kind of get answered is that, like, before this, I had no idea what the UN was. Like, I'm 18, she's 14, we had no idea. We didn't really have a lot of information on the UN anyway. And I think that, I mean, odds are if people are 18 watching this stuff, our generation. So I think you've explained it so perfectly, and I think you've given so much information. But what is there, do you think, that our generation can do? Like, what can we do? What can they do to help? Is it just research? Is it, what do you think is the next step?
I think for you, it starts with awareness.
Yeah.
And you're definitely doing a good job. And I think nowadays with social media, influencers, they've got a real important role. And I think for you, it starts with the kids, the raise this awareness.
Absolutely.
I'm never that good at telling.
You were amazing. Alright guys, so now we're with Sarah. We're going to ask her a few questions and take it away.
So how exactly do landmines impact the environment?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So landmines, as well as cluster bombs, as well as other explosive remnants of war, are detrimental to our environment. They're horrible. And especially with the ones that are laying dormant, like for Laos, for example. Cluster bombs that are laying in the ground for 50 years now can impact the environment in 3 different ways. And this goes with, extends beyond cluster bombs, but also landmines and other explosive. First one is, when a bomb is detonated, it releases horrible toxins into our air, as well as our land and water. So these are like TNT, heavy metal, and they can stay there until we actually clean them up. Just kind of for reference as well, when a bomb is detonated in the ground, it impacts the structure of the soil, right? And once soil structure is changed or altered, it makes it really hard for farmers and other folks using the land to plant safely and to grow crops, right? And a soil is actually a very finite resource that we have. Once a soil is damaged, it can take like up to 1,000 years to just get 3 centimeters of topsoil rebuilt. Yeah, the second way that explosive ordnance can really impact our environment is, thinking about how once I'll use the example of deminers that are working in countries that have contamination. Many of these places, they're stationed out in very remote parts. In Laos, for example, they have nowhere to throw away their waste and rubbish, so they start burning, right? And if it catches on fire, for example, it can actually detonate a bomb. So that's very, very dangerous to, obviously, the demining team, humans, and the people living around, but it releases, of course, smoke and things into our air, similar to what we see in the United States with forest fires. And yeah, and that's actually the third play, right? In very, very hot areas, right? Once an explosion happens, it can trigger forest fires, and that can damage the entire ecosystem of an environment, right? And one other thing that I actually forgot to share too is when deminers are out in the field, before they can even do any clearance work, they actually have to cut away vegetation in places like, you know, much of the land in Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, very remote places. There's tons of things that have to be done before clearance can happen, right? Before they can actually use the scanner to find like landmines or other unexploded ordnance, that this actually changes the structure of that ecosystem. But the good news is, you know, deminers know this and understand, and many of them have best practices where they actually replant what the natural tree or flowers or other fruits and vegetation that grow in that area. So, you know, I think the more education that we can do with demining teams, folks that work in this area, farmers that live there, and the people who receive the land that's been released after clearance is so important to do, because we know that that will really help improve our overall environment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I was thinking of other questions. You're airing every time.
Bottom line, unexploded ordnance, landmines, all these things are just horrible weapons. They're indiscriminate. They can't tell the difference between a small child or a combatant, and they're bad for people and the environment, and it can impact for decades to come.
That is such great information. Thank you for educating us.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm with Morally Nelson and Jules, of course. And I know him from Uncontained. He was the writer and director. You're also producing Walking Without Fear, correct?
Correct.
And
That's the documentary we keep talking about.
By the way,
It's not
if
out
you
yet.
haven't caught up yet, that's what we're talking about. And we just wanted to ask you a few questions.
Okay, sure.
Haley's also in Uncontained. I don't know if there's that connection either yet. Okay, so that's how they know that. But I've just met Morley today, so I don't really know him as well. So what's your story? Why are you passionate about this? What is it with you and landmines?
So that's a good question.
it?
So yeah, it was. Any chance I can be involved in directing Hayley? She's a great actor.
Thank you.
I think it's nice to be able to write and direct films that are fun and exciting and interesting, but this is a chance to do a project where it might actually result in saving lives.
Right.
And it's something important where I think if you have a platform, if you have the capability to reach out to people and influence people and reach people and change attitudes or build awareness, I think that's where it kind of starts, right? And then the awareness becomes political will, and political will becomes action, right? And I think our generation, the generation before us, is terrible at getting anything done or activating anything to result in actual change, where I feel like your generation is ready to leap in and make change happen. And I feel like you're just waiting to go, let's do this. There's so many issues that your generation has to deal with, which is totally unfair because you're getting totally screwed by the older generations. You got the environment's is basically destroyed. They have guns, homelessness. Exactly. And landmines, is an issue that I feel like hardly anybody knows about, but everyone should.
Absolutely.
So, and that's why I thought, well, you were great in the film, and you have an opportunity to do something really important. You felt like this is something you'd want to do. And then your manager, Matt, was like, hey, who else might be interested in helping change the world? And it was your sister. So the two of you combined, I think, could add some real leadership that would result in some actual doing stuff versus just like talking. The questions that you've asked have been really eye-opening for a lot of people in older generations that are thinking about terms like, oh wait, there are younger people that are willing to take
where our
the
questions are literally just what are landmines?
Exactly.
It goes down to the actual basics, and I think they're like, wow, the next generation generation has no idea.
Yes. You too feel like the older generation just kind of like blots you out, or doesn't want you to talk, or doesn't want to hear you? Or...
Here, no.
Okay.
Here, I feel everybody's been very kind
very-
and wanting to teach us everything. Also because I feel it's their job right now and they're really on top of it. But everywhere else, absolutely. Because I think that I ask a question and they kind of just like avoid it when the question is very basic in general sometimes of like what can I do, and they kind of just like go off and I never really get that answered. And that's like the biggest thing that we really need to know is that sometimes we get educated and we get all this information, but it's like, okay, now that we know that and we feel bad and we know that the world is terrible, how can I actually help? Like what can I actually do?
And it's disappointing that we don't get as much help and advice and information, because the younger generation and Gen Z is truly what matters most. And they're going to be adults soon and they're going to be learning about this, but we haven't gotten any information.
I think you're unfairly inheriting a lot of issues, and I feel like there's basic answers that you're not getting.
Yeah,
And that's
but you're
a problem.
doing an incredible job, especially with the documentary and everything. I'm really excited for everyone to watch that, so I think we're doing good here. Alright guys, I think we're going to end this video here. I really hope that this has taught you something. Thank you for clicking on it. I hope this brought awareness, and I hope that you feel a little bit more educated, and I hope this lit a little passion in you. Do your own research. I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching if you did. This is really important, so I hope you do your research and try to do whatever you can to help.
And we love you, and we will see you guys next time.
See you next time.